Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Listen, if you're seeing this, you've got to grasp just how big this is. Tonight in the Emirates wasn't simply a standard game. Yeah, okay, it was a WTA 1000 tournament. And sure, it was merely an opening qualifier, but truthfully, we just saw a total seismic shift in the culture. And nope, the title isn't just hype for clicks, I am 100% for real right now. Dubai, a place known for glitz high-rises and catering to the super rich, just got completely shaken up. But the kicker is, it's the best type of surprise, the sort that forces the whole athletic world to take notice. We are discussing the Dubai Duty-Free Championships here, basically a flagship stop on the women's circuit. Usually these opening rounds are super quiet, low-key events. You see the business suites, the VIP areas, a few die-hard lovers of the game sprinkled in, and maybe a little golf clap occasionally. It is polite, silent, and typical tennis. But tonight they tossed those norms right in the trash. That arena did not sound like a court at all. It roared like a massive gig or a soccer championship, all thanks to one person, a 20-year-old sensation making those hard courts her own backyard. Alexandra Eala, everything we're hearing from the grounds is just totally insane. Seasoned reporters, organizers, and even opponents looking on from the seats are all echoing one sentiment. Thousands of bodies jammed into the stands, and not just sport lovers, these were her fans. The Filipino population in the Emirates, a huge, spirited, and coordinated group, showed up like we almost never see for solo athletes. They flipped a road match into what felt exactly like a home court advantage. They brought championship Sunday vibes to a random Tuesday prelim. Welcome to the Eala age, guys. And it isn't approaching. It has officially arrived. We have been murmuring about this for 2 years, following her path at the Nadal Academy, seeing her breakout in 2025, and watching the stats. But this evening, the murmurs died down and the screaming started. When Alex walked out to play Hailey Baptiste, the noise reportedly reached levels you'd expect for Roger or Rafa back in the day. Banners all over the sun, and 3 stars, flag flying in every section, painted on cheeks and hanging over the rails. The cheering was steady, non-stop, and ear-splitting. And here is the key background info we need to set straight immediately. It's important because the sport is hunting for that next big superstar since Serena retired. Don't misunderstand, the current top players are amazing. Iga Swiatek is a total beast on the court. Aryna Sabalenka is incredibly strong, but who really moves the culture? Who convinces a non-fan to grab a seat and queue up for 3 hours? Tonight, Alexandra Eala gave us the answer. She showed she isn't just a future star. She is a movement. Okay, so here is the update. She moved on. She is into the round of 32 here in Dubai. But how it went down was chaotic, intense, and really showed the heavy stress she is under. She grabbed the opener against the American Hailey Baptiste 6-4. It was a slog, man, a real dogfight. Eala had to claw back from being down early, disrupt the rhythm, hit sharp corners with that killer left hand, and ride the audience's hype. Then the second set got dramatic. Baptiste, struggling with a stomach issue, had to quit while trailing 0-1. So sure, the game finished on a weird note. But the aftermath, totally different story. Normally an injury ends the vibe. Everyone leaves. Folks walk out. Not this time. When the ref called it for Eala, the place blew up like she just took the Wimbledon title. Just dwell on that for a moment. This is a second-round qualifier, yet the reaction matched a major championship. That is the level of backing she has. The planners are panicking. They realize they need more guards whenever she takes the court. They require larger courts. They have to get ready for full houses. It's what we call the rock star factor. In athletics, we use that phrase way too much. Anybody with some charm gets labeled a celebrity. But check the tape. I wish I could display it, but take my word for it. People are actually leaning over rails just to see her gear. They are yelling her name during the breaks. The guards look totally swamped, trying to handle the sea of people pushing for a signature. That isn't just fame. We are talking Beatlemania at Shea Stadium levels of chaos here. Even the old guard is feeling the heat. Jasmine Paolini, the world number 8 waiting in the wings, already went on record calling Alex a massive deal for the sport. But even she had to admit you just don't see this kind of electricity for a player sitting at number 40 in the rankings. Tournament director Salah Tahlak isn't staying quiet about this Filipino powerhouse either. He's putting it out there publicly. He gets it. The nearly 1 million Filipinos in the UAE, including 3,000 right there at Dubai. Duty-free are way more than just numbers on a census. They are a legitimate legion. They buy the seats, snap up the gear, and bring a vibe that simply doesn't exist anywhere else. So why is the whole city in shock? Simple, they completely underestimated the appetite. They missed the fierce pride of a people longing for a global tennis superstar. We saw this movie before with Manny Pacquiao in the ring. Whenever Manny fought, the planet stood still. Now, tennis is catching the first sparks of that same inferno. It is wild, it is chaotic, and it is absolutely gorgeous. For the next few minutes, let's peel back the layers of exactly what went down tonight. Forget just breaking down the forehands and backhands for a second. We are getting inside the heads of this fan base, checking the financial impact for the WTA and scouting the path forward, especially with a top 10 opponent looming. And if you thought tonight was deafening, just wait until you hear what they are cooking up for Jasmine Paolini. Strap in. The Eala era isn't on the horizon. It is right here. It is loud. It is unapologetic. And it is sweeping through the Middle East match by match. Consider the tennis world officially warned this kid is way too massive to overlook. And that legion of screaming supporters behind her. You can't ignore them either. Let's get into it. Let's break down the mechanics of this whole phenomenon. To really get what went down in Dubai, you have to look at the framework supporting this frenzy. Saying a lot of people showed up doesn't even scratch the surface of the energy in that room. We have to identify exactly who these fans are and why this specific tournament turned into ground zero for the Alex explosion. The ecosystem in Dubai is one of a kind. It is basically a global intersection, right? But in a lot of ways, the actual beating heart of this city is the Filipino expat community. For decades, they have been the engine running everything service, healthcare, engineering, you name a sector in the Emirates, they are holding it up. Yet in the sports world, they have mostly been on the sidelines. Sure, they would catch an NBA game or tune in for boxing. But tennis, that felt like some distant European country club hobby totally removed from the grind of the overseas worker. Alexandra Eala flipped that equation completely upside down. She put a recognizable human face on a game that felt miles away. When those fans filed into the stadium tonight, they weren't just there to watch a match. They showed up for representation. They came to see their own journey played out on the world stage, a young woman grinding abroad, fighting to make her mark, jumping hurdles. That story hits deep. It forges a connection that goes way beyond typical sports cheering. It creates devotion, and that loyalty is the gasoline directly fueling this rock star reception. When Alex is on the court, nobody is calculating her unforced error stats. They are living and dying with every single emotion. When she missed a first serve against Baptiste, a collective groan swept the stands. Not anger, just shared nerves. But man, when she smashed that cross-court forehand winner to break in the first set, it wasn't just noise. It was pure emotional release. It was visceral. The local organizers had zero clue this was coming. They are used to golf claps, quiet murmurs, maybe a polite standing ovation here and there. What they are not accustomed to is this raw electric link between a player and the crowd in an opening round match. They have simply never witnessed it. Now, let's cut through the hype and look at the actual game. Because the match Alex had to play was no cakewalk. Hailey Baptiste is a serious problem on the court. She is sitting at 39 in the world, literally one spot ahead. She has the weapons. She has the mileage. On paper, this was a total toss-up. The first set was a dogfight right from the jump. Alex came out a bit sluggish, and honestly, who wouldn't with that much noise and pressure? She fell behind 1-2 right out of the gate. 12 months back, she might have folded under that weight. She might have panicked and tried to play hero ball too early. But this is a different Alex. This is the version hardened by the tour. She kept her cool. She built her points intelligently. She used that lefty spin to pull Baptiste off the court, opened up the lanes, and scratched her way back to a 3-2 lead. That break was the pivot. You could physically feel the momentum swing. She stayed cool under pressure to snag that set 6-4. That was the moment the stands realized, all right, she's here to play ball. You have to give it up for her psychological resilience, too. Delivering top-tier performance while thousands chant for you whenever you grab a drink is tough. It breaks your focus. It gets suffocating. Yet Eala harnessed all of it. She converted that noise into high-octane gas rather than letting it weigh her down. It was a bummer to see Baptiste bow out trailing 0-1 in the second. Nobody likes watching an athlete get hurt, and we hope Hailey heals up fast, but looking at the stats, it speaks volumes about Eala's ferocity. She forces the other side to earn every single yard. The bodily cost of that opening frame, that non-stop attack, probably played a big role in Baptiste's body quitting. Alex isn't in the business of handing out freebies. She wears you out. Mix that baseline intensity with the deafening noise from the bleachers, and it builds a claustrophobic vibe for whoever is across the net. So what are we really saying when we use the word era? We toss that term around loosely, but what is the substance? Is it just marketing fluff, or is it based on facts? Well, the trend lines say it is legit. Check the stats. Eala just broke into the top 40. She is sitting at her best standing ever. A year ago, she wasn't even cracking the top 150. That is a skyrocket ascent in the pro circuit. She isn't some up-and-coming kid now. She's a bona fide danger on the main tour. This new chapter also signifies a geographical pivot in the women's game toward the east. We watched Li Na carve that path for China for ages. We have seen Naomi Osaka rep Japan. However, Southeast Asia has been pretty silent regarding elite singles contenders. Eala is plugging a huge gap on the map and in the culture, and trust me, the WTA is taking notes. They are hunting for a headliner to crack the Southeast Asian code. They are analyzing those social media interaction numbers. Her uploads pull better numbers than some of the girls ranked in the top 5. Then, they check the gate receipts for events in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and the future Asian leg of the tour. To the league, she is a jackpot. She brings a pre-packaged following that is active, opens their wallets, and flies to games. The scenes in Dubai are the pilot episode that proves the series works. Schedule her on a main stage and you are promised a blockbuster. It justifies every single free pass she grabbed and every brand contract she inked. However, this movement is bigger than just lifting major trophies, even if that is the target. It is about being the icon for 600 million folks in Tao. Looking forward, Paolini is looming. Let's chat about the future because the plot is thickening. Alex is set to dance with Jasmine Paolini, and this is the true heat check. Jasmine isn't merely solid, she is top shelf. We are talking a major finalist. She is sitting at number 8 on the planet. The girl is quick, she is steady, and she has battled under the brightest lights in the game. This showdown is going to expose exactly where Alex fits in the hierarchy. But there is a catch. Paolini sees the train coming. Talking to the media, she didn't come off as a giant brushing off a rookie. She seemed deferential. She seemed wary. Whenever a top tenor claims a rival is great for the game, that translates to, I know the fans are going to hate me. The second Paolini walks out in Dubai, she is going to feel like the bad guy. And not because of her personality. She is actually one of the sweetest people on the circuit, but she is the obstacle in the Filipino storyline. The vibe for this round of 32 clash is going to be fierce and unforgiving. Why? Because this is Alex's golden ticket. If she can keep pace with Paolini or shoot, maybe even win inside that chaos, she rockets to a different tier of respect. Victory here means way more than just ladder points. It proves she can dismantle the best while hauling a whole country's expectations on her back. You also have to weigh the comments from the director who openly admitted Alex's value to the wallet and the energy. Once the bosses admit a specific athlete puts butts in seats, the red carpet gets rolled out differently. Alex is likely locking down those primetime windows now. She is headed for the main stadium lineup. The system is beginning to grind in her favor because the system knows she generates views and cash. Regarding the mindset of the audience, I would be skipping the soul of this tale if I didn't take a second to analyze the mob mentality. The Filipinos have this cultural philosophy known as bayanihan. It basically means community oneness, pitching in and grinding toward a common target. It is the vibe of a whole town physically moving a home together. That display in Dubai tonight, that was bayanihan inside a sports arena. Those people weren't merely customers. They acted like a united front focused entirely on boosting Alex. Even when she was trailing in the opener, they didn't clam up. They actually cranked up the volume trying to will her across the finish line. That is unheard of in solo competitions. Tennis is usually a solitary grind where you are out there on an island, but Eala, she has got a permanent entourage. No matter where she travels, especially the Middle East, Europe, or North America, the massive Filipino communities turn it into a home game. That is a huge strategic edge, honestly. It shakes the confidence of the opposition and subtly sways the officials. It provides that extra 5% of adrenaline right when her legs are running on fumes. The real headline here is the rest of the globe finally realizing just how potent the Filipino fanbase actually is. We have seen it in beauty contests, basketball, and boxing. Now the tennis world is finally getting the memo, and frankly, they are still learning the ropes. Word is venue security in Dubai actually told fans to pipe down and take a seat at one point. But good luck stopping a tidal wave. You can't. You just have to ride it out. Now for the business angle. Let's talk dollars and cents for a minute because there is a massive financial story hidden under all this Eala era hype. The organizer's clothing sponsors the tournaments. Everyone is preparing to capitalize on this phenomenon. Those shots coming out of Dubai are worth their weight in solid gold. Hailey Baptiste is a solid player, but she isn't packing a stadium in Dubai on a Tuesday night. Alex is. That means Eala can demand big appearance checks. It means her stock is shooting through the roof. Networks are going to fight to air her matches, even the early qualifiers. She is evolving into what we call a franchise player. You know, like the marquee talents in the NBA. You construct a roster around them. In tennis, you center your whole marketing blitz around them. Eala is becoming that figure. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships is in its 26th year, and the women's bracket hasn't had a sales pitch like this in ages. They are going to squeeze every drop of value out of this unexpected windfall. You can bet you will see Eala's face plastered on every marquee in Dubai for the remainder of the week. And here is the kicker: that economic clout buys her career longevity. Even if she hits a slump, her ticket-selling power ensures she will snag those free passes. It guarantees her a foot in the door. Although looking at her stats top 40, taking down Grand Slam winners, going the distance in tournaments, she doesn't need any handouts. She has paid her dues. The marketing draw is just the gravy on top of a very talented biscuit. One last takeaway for tonight. Before we wrap up this breakdown, I want to leave you with a thought on what this Dubai match really represents. It is easy to get lost in the endless grind of the tennis calendar. It is a long haul. Players are living out of suitcases, hopping from city to city, playing matches that all start to blend together. But every so often, a moment comes along that slices through the monotony. A moment that makes us put down our phones, pause the scroll, and actually take notice. What we witnessed in Dubai, the thousands of screaming fans, the rock star treatment for a 20-year-old, the organizer's shock, that was one of those times. It was a statement, a declaration that new blood is energizing the sport and the old hierarchy is shifting. Alex Eala pulled off something truly special tonight. She didn't just beat Hailey Baptiste in a tennis match. She transformed a stadium into a shrine of national pride. She showed the world that an Asian woman can be the main event. She proved you can be ranked outside the top 30 and still be the crowd favorite. But let's keep it real. The job isn't finished. The buzz is fun. Being called a rock star is cool, but the competition only gets tougher. Jasmine Paolini is waiting in the wings, and the 8th-ranked player in the world won't be rattled by some loud cheering. She is bringing her A-game. This next showdown is the true test of the Eala era. Will the fan frenzy translate into a commanding win? Can Alex channel that crowd noise into a level of play she has never reached before? Can she stun Dubai with her skills, not just her fame? I think we are watching the birth of a phenomenon. The surprise we felt tonight will soon be standard procedure. The world will get used to the fact that when Alex Eala plays, arenas sell out and chaos ensues. To all the fans who showed up in Dubai tonight, you set the standard. The WTA is going to be buzzing about the vibe you created for the rest of the season. And to Alex Eala, the floor is yours. The lights are blinding, the roar is deafening, and we are all watching your next move. This has been a comprehensive look into the Chimaru. Alex Eala is lighting up Dubai with an energy you just cannot deny. The buzz is legit. A true rock star is here. If you love the sport, the grit, or watching a dark horse turn into a legend, you have to keep your eyes on this. Appreciate you checking out this breakdown. We are breaking down every angle of that face-off with Jasmine Paolini, and we will be right here to see if she keeps shaking up the world. Hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the latest scoop.